Ladies and gentlemen, why do we feel the need to announce our goals? It's exciting to share our dreams. It makes us feel accountable. It gets us validation. But what if I told you that talking about your plans too soon might be the very thing that stops you from achieving them? We live in a world where words are often mistaken for progress. People announce their goals, make grand declarations, and seek validation before they've even begun the real work. It's tempting to share our plans because it feels like we're taking a step forward. But success isn't built on intention, it's built on execution. No matter how well we articulate our dreams, they mean nothing if they are not backed by action. Talking about our goals can create an illusion of accomplishment. The moment we tell someone, "I'm going to start a business" or "I'm writing a book," we feel a rush of excitement. The reactions from others, whether admiration, encouragement, or support, give us a sense of progress. But this feeling is deceptive. It tricks us into thinking we've already done something when, in reality, nothing has changed. The real work still needs to be done, and talking about it too much can actually slow us down. Validation from others can become a distraction. When we seek approval before we've achieved something, we make ourselves dependent on external reinforcement. If people react positively, we feel motivated. If they react negatively, we start doubting ourselves. But the truth is, neither response should matter. Success isn't determined by what people think of our plans, it's determined by whether we follow through. By staying focused on execution rather than expectation, we free ourselves from the need for validation and direct all our energy into achieving results. Throughout history, the most impactful individuals have been those who let their actions speak louder than their words. The world's greatest inventors, entrepreneurs, and visionaries didn't waste time broadcasting their intentions. They spent their time building, refining, and perfecting. When Steve Jobs and his team were working on the first iPhone, they didn't go around telling the world what they were planning. They worked in silence, letting the product itself do the talking when it was ready. The same is true for athletes who train without announcing every workout, authors who write without telling everyone about their book, and artists who create without seeking applause for an unfinished piece. Their results speak for them. Letting results speak also protects us from the pressure of expectations. When we declare our goals publicly, we create an invisible weight on our shoulders. Suddenly, we're not just working toward our dream, we're performing for an audience. The fear of failing in front of others can make us hesitant, overly cautious, or even unwilling to take risks. But when we keep our heads down and do the work quietly, we give ourselves the freedom to fail, adjust, and improve without external pressure. Moreover, when results speak, they carry undeniable credibility. Words can be debated, doubted, or dismissed, but results are tangible. No one can argue with a completed project, a thriving business, or a personal transformation that is evident. When people see results, they believe in them, not because they were convinced by words, but because the evidence is right in front of them. This is why action always outweighs talk. It builds trust, authority, and impact in a way that words alone never can. The discipline to remain silent until there is something to show for our efforts is a sign of true commitment. It means we are serious about our goals, not just in theory but in practice. Instead of getting caught up in the excitement of making promises, we invest in the quiet, often unglamorous process of turning those promises into reality. And when the time comes, when the work is done, and the results are undeniable, there is no need for explanation. Success speaks for itself, and the world listens, not because we asked them to, but because they can't ignore what we've accomplished. We live in a world where sharing is second nature. Social media has given us the power to broadcast every detail of our lives, from what we eat to what we plan to achieve. And while sharing can create excitement, it can also be one of the biggest roadblocks to success. The moment we voice our plans, we invite not just encouragement but also doubt, distractions, and unnecessary opinions that can derail our focus. When we talk about our goals too soon, we feel a temporary sense of accomplishment. It feels good to say, "I'm going to start my own business," or "I'm training for a marathon." People acknowledge it, they applaud it, and suddenly, we get a rush of validation. This validation can be deceptive. The brain registers it almost as if we've already taken action, even though all we've done is talk. That premature satisfaction can trick us into slowing down before we've even started. But it's not just about the illusion of progress. Sharing our plans too soon exposes them to unnecessary opinions. The moment you tell someone about your goal, you open the door for their thoughts, doubts, and concerns. Some may genuinely support you, while others intentionally or unintentionally might project their fears onto you. That's risky. Are you sure you're ready for that? What if you fail? These words, even when spoken with good intentions, can plant seeds of uncertainty. And the more we hear them, the more we start second-guessing ourselves. Silence, on the other hand, is a strategy. When you keep your plans to yourself, you create a protective space for your vision to grow. You eliminate external noise and allow yourself to move forward without interference. In silence, you are not performing for an audience, you are working purely for yourself. This keeps your motivation authentic. You're not driven by external validation, but by a deep internal desire to achieve. History has shown that some of the greatest successes were built in quiet. Think about the most revolutionary ideas, groundbreaking businesses, and game-changing innovations. They weren't announced before they were ready. They were developed in silence, away from the pressure of public expectation. Apple didn't reveal its iPhone to the world when it was still an idea. It was only unveiled when it was ready to redefine technology. Writers don't publish unfinished books for feedback from the world. They complete their work before letting anyone read it. The most successful entrepreneurs don't talk about their next big idea at every dinner party. They build it behind closed doors and let the results speak for themselves. Silence also protects us from the weight of expectation. When we announce our goals, we feel a responsibility to meet the expectations of those who heard them. Instead of focusing on the work, we start worrying about how we are being perceived. What if I don't succeed? What if I change my mind? This added pressure can make the journey more about proving something to others rather than genuinely working toward our own fulfillment. But when we stay silent, we give ourselves permission to evolve. Our plans can shift, our approach can change, and we can adapt without the fear of judgment. There is no need to explain or justify our decisions. We can take risks, fail privately, and try again without feeling the need to save face. This freedom allows us to move with agility and focus entirely on execution rather than explanation. The true power of silence is that it forces us to rely on action instead of words. When we stop talking about our plans and start working on them, we naturally build momentum. There is no illusion of progress, only real progress. We don't waste time seeking approval, we invest time in making things happen. And when we finally achieve what we set out to do, we don't have to say a word, or our success speaks for itself. The power of staying silent about your plans is not about secrecy, it's about strategy. When we resist the urge to announce our goals prematurely, we protect our motivation, eliminate distractions, and give ourselves the space to focus on execution. Talking about success does not create success, action does. The world does not reward intentions, it rewards results. Instead of seeking validation through words, let your achievements do the talking. Work in silence, stay committed to the process, and when the time is right, let your success speak for itself. Because in the end, the loudest statement you can make is not what you say you will do, but what you have already done. Imagine setting a goal and keeping it close. Instead of talking about it, you work on it. Instead of seeking approval, you build discipline. And then, one day, instead of saying, I plan to do this, you simply say, I did it. Let your success speak. Let your results announce your journey. Because in the end, silence isn't weakness, it's power.